So this is going to be a two-part video. So if you were watching part number one, which I think I'm going to release this in back-to-back days because damn, this is a lot of content to put out all at once. But this is going to be a two-part video. So if you were watching the video and it all of a sudden cut out on Cuir de Lancôme, well, it cut out on me. And my brain is still fried from doing this for 2 hours. So we are going to finish this last bit as fast as possible. So number 51 is Cuir de Lancôme. And I mentioned that if you wanted a take on a leather and iris combination, but you want more florals, this is the way to go, Cuir de Lancôme. All right, so we're going to do the speed run here through the last 50. And to everyone who stuck around and watched the first part, I apologize for the last part being a speed run, but it does have to be this way. All right, number 50. Number 50 is an Etienne Aigner creation, and it's called Explosive. Explosive is an amazing animalic floral fragrance with a beautiful iris note in the heart. Opens up aldehydic, dries down, mossy, ambergris, just lovely stuff. Number 49. Number 49 is Aramis Tobacco Reserve, one of my favorite tobacco fragrances of all time. Aramis Tobacco Reserve is, it's got this blackcurrant fruitiness to it, and it blends with this lovely, perfect use of tonka. Most tonka nowadays, I hate. You know, look at the Eroses of the world, all this disgusting sweet tonka. This is tonka that I really like. In a designer bottle, no less. Tonka, tobacco, nutmeg, and iris. Iris is the secret weapon in Aramis Tobacco Reserve. Number 48 is going to be back to Guerlain, and this time it is Jicky. Jicky comes in at number 48, and Jicky is one of the first fragrances to use modern materials, if you will. It's known as the first modern perfume, and Jicky is a spicy floral fougere. It is, some people call it dandy, but it has that orris root that makes it powdery in the heart. Beautiful perfume. If you ever get a chance to smell these older bottles of Jicky, they're absolutely amazing. Even the new eau de parfum I have is really, really good. Okay, number 47 is a fragrance from the house of Viktor and Rolf. Actually, probably one of the best from the house of Viktor and Rolf. It's discontinued. It's called Antidote. Antidote is a lot of different things. The first time you smell it, you'll probably write it off as just being okay, because it'll smell kind of spicy, kind of floral, kind of fresh. It's minty, there's leather, there's nutmeg, you know, it's spicy, it's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. And that's the trick, I think, of Antidote, is it's the antidote to boring perfume, but it has a little bit of everything in it. And that includes iris. The iris is in the base, kind of like the way Roja uses his iris, with leather, vanilla, sandalwood. There's just a lot going on, but it's a really good perfume. It only lasts 6 hours, but for a designer, I think that deserves more love. All right, number 46 is a fragrance from the house of Knize, and this is Knize 10, the original. I wish I had a vintage. I love this. This is one of the best iris leather combinations that money can buy. Even the modern is really, really good. Knize 10 is leathery, spicy carnation. It's got that old school carnation, and it was made by one of the greatest perfumers of all time, Francois Coty. But iris is in the heart here. Absolutely stunning. Number 45 is a Geoffrey Beene, and it's called Gray Flannel. So gray flannel literally smells like a outdoor countryside, like you're staring at a beautiful green sunny hill. It's lots of florals. There's that gasoline note that makes an appearance, that violet leaf kind of makes its first appearance here. It's discontinued, believe it or not. And there's this iris, mimosa, narcissus, geranium heart. The iris in the heart is absolutely beautiful. And there's a brilliant almondy dry down, believe it or not. Okay, so that is gray flannel. Number 44 is a YSL, and this is YSL Jazz. Okay, so YSL Jazz is one of my favorite YSL fragrances of all time. But Jazz is an Amber Fougere. It's in my Amber Fougere list. This is a Jean-Francois Letty creation. And Iris is in the heart. Lots going on. Iris is in the heart. But if you can find these old piano key bottles, I would definitely urge you to try to grab it if you get it for a fair price. All right, number 43 is a Lolita Lempicka, and this is actually called Eau Masculin Eau de Parfum Intense. So this is a flanker, and the biggest difference here with the original is that Annick Minardo added Iris and Oud. Iris and Oud are the two biggest additions, and you can really tell the Iris here makes a huge difference. I don't think the original had Iris or Oud. I'm going off of memory. But Lolita Lempicka Eau Masculin Eau de Parfum Intense. Discontinued, but in the realm of, you know, you wouldn't believe how posh it smells. You know, the original's in the realm of something like Body Coros. That Iris just almost takes it to a next level, like Iris usually does. Okay, number 42 is a Frederic Malle, and this is called... Wrong Frederic Malle. This is called Boiturage. So Boiturage is Pierre Bourdon's take on... well, it's not even Pierre Bourdon's take. I was going to say, you know, if you've smelled something like Royal Oud by Creed, you'll get a feel for what Pierre Bourdon's student made that kind of is in this realm. But it's very Boiturage, or French Lover as it's known in Europe. It's very green and spicy, and it's got this pimento and galbanum opening. And Florentine Iris, okay? Florentine Iris is in the top, so you get that posh Iris right from the very beginning. But it does have a little bit of this forest floor outdoor vibe. It's beautiful. If you can find the older bottles before Estee Lauder took over Frederic Malle, those are the ones that I would recommend checking out. Okay, next on the list, we've got number 41, and it's a Guerlain, and it is known as one of the finest sandalwood fragrances money can buy, and this is called Guerlain Samsara. This is the Eau de Parfum. Guerlain Samsara is a sandalwood, floral, ylang, and it's got that orris root, which makes it powdery in the heart, and it has iris in the base, so there's a double whammy. That's why it's a little bit higher than some of the previous Guerlains mentioned. Okay, next on the list we have number 40, and this is only a mini, but it's good enough I had to put it in here. This is Ungaro's Diva. Okay, so Diva is a creation that was actually copied the very next year for Chanel using Coco. So Jacques Polge is the perfumer of both Coco and Diva. And actually Jacques Polge and François Demachy are the perfumers of many of the vintage Ungaros. They had like some sort of an agreement deal where Ungaro would outsource the fragrance creation to Chanel. So Jacques Polge and François Demachy made Ungaro's perfumes. And Diva is a floral, stunning, just masterpiece. The orris root, civet, the honey. It's just the kind of 80s fragrances for women that I absolutely love. This DNA is much, much higher in the list as well, which we'll get to. But if you like Coco, you have to check out Diva. Okay, number 39 is a new addition, actually, to my collection. And it's called Quai de Krizia Eau de Toilette. So I also have the Eau de Parfum. I got them both from Manouche. And this is a Maurice Roussel creation, one of his first, believe it or not. And it's a big, floral, spicy, lots of aldehydes, lots of florals. The iris is in the heart. It dries down to this mossy leather. Beautiful. Again, fragrances for women from the 80s were absolutely stunning. K de Krizia is, I don't want to say it's a masterpiece yet, because I don't know if it's a masterpiece. I've only worn it once, but I really, really like it. Number 38. So now we're going to start getting into the big iris fragrances. This is a fragrance that Arpege put out, and they kind of copied Dior Homme. See how the top, the cap looks like Dior Homme cap? And this is Arpege pour Homme. So Arpege pour Homme is in that Dior Homme mold, if you will. And, but I think the vanilla is a little bit more turned up. It opens up with a little bit more pink pepper and neroli than what you'll find in Dior Homme. But the iris and the way that it's used, no doubt will remind you of Dior Homme. So we're starting to get into the big iris hitters now at number 38. Number 37 is a Balenciaga, and it's Ho Hang Club. So this is a very interesting perfume. It came out in 87, and it's basically a spicy, woody, Ellie Roger made it. And it's orris root, it's musk, it's patchouli, it's lemon, and it's got this dark rose that seems to just arise. Kind of like the rose, kind of like how the rose just arises out of Antaeus from the background. And Ho Hang Club, my cap kind of broke in two, if you will, but it still works. But Ho Hang Club, if you can find these older bottles, whether it says Le Club de Balenciaga or whatever it may be, if you see a bottle that looks like this, whether it says, you know, Ho Hang, or, you know, if it says something a little different, I didn't grab my other bottle, but it has it. It's the same fragrance. But the orris in here, the powderiness is stunning. Okay, next on the list, we've got number 36. And again, like I said, we're starting to get into the big hitters here. So we've got Prada, and this is Prada. This is Prada L'Homme Intense. Okay, so Prada L'Homme Intense is powdery, sweet. It's Prada's take on that ambery, floral, you know, iris DNA. And it's iris, amber, patchouli, and tonka. And, you know, I like this kind of iris. I know some people can't wear this type of iris. I'm lucky that I have no problem wearing stuff like Prada L'Homme Intense from 2017. I hear it could potentially be discontinued as well. Okay, next on the list, we've got number 35, and it is a Parfum d'Empire, and this is called Cuir Ottoman. Okay, so Cuir Ottoman has one big Achilles heel, and that is performance. The smell is absolutely beautiful. It's leathery, spicy. It's got that iris leather combination that I love so much, and the iris is there from the very beginning, and it dries down to this benzoin, frankincense, tonka. It's beautiful. It's Marc-Antoine Cortacciatto makes a hell of a fragrance, and I love how he kind of uses these animalics. The labdanum in the top comes off very leathery and resinous. It's beautiful. Cuir Ottoman at number 35. Number 34 is a Givenchy, and this is Isatis de Givenchy. It's a Dominique Ropillon. Tons of notes, very complex. It's like you're at a banquet with perfume, you know, and each table is a different note, and you can kind of stop and sniff. And if you can find these older bottles with the short ingredient list, do it. It's you will not be disappointed. Isatis de Givenchy, lovely Florentine iris in the heart. And then we've got an Amouage again at number 33, and it is Dia Man. And this is a Bertrand Duchaufour creation. One of the best uses of peony I've ever smelled. You know, peony is a flower that is not regularly used, or you don't see it used too often in perfumery, especially not men's perfumery. But the iris and the plum and the leather, I mean, D I think means day, and there is this candle-like effect, this light, this illumination from this fragrance. It's brilliant. This is a masterpiece. You can wear this you can wear this to work. I mean, this is one of the few emouages where it stays a little bit closer to you. It's a little more elegant, where the vetiver, it feels like this is the days where, Bertrand Duchaufour was playing with the vetiver note, like Timbuktu and stuff like that, such an amazing fragrance. Gets overlooked because it doesn't get the doesn't have the beast mode like projection as some of the other Amouage fragrances, but Diamant is absolutely stunning at number 33. Number 32. All right, I've got to grab this from back here, so bear with me. Number 32 is Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme from 1994. Okay, so Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme from 1994 is one of my favorite fresh tobacco fragrances, and I like wearing it in the heat. It's spicy, it's woody, it's got tarragon, one of my favorite secret notes. Pepper. Every time I see tarragon, I have a feeling I'm going to love the fragrance. Lavender, sage, iris, tobacco. That tobacco and the dry down with the iris. I think it's the best fresh tobacco fragrance money can buy. Unfortunately, they don't make it anymore. But if you can find those older bottles, the made in Italy bottles, I'd highly recommend it. Number 31 is a Chanel, and it is the great Cuir de Russie, one of the best leather fragrances of all time. This is the vintage Eau de Cologne, but if you can find the Eau de Toilette from the 80s, I like that one even more. But the Eau de Cologne is very, very good. Even the modern Eau de Parfum I hear is quite nice, but I haven't done a comparison video yet. It's leathery, it's spicy. Everyone knows Cuir de Russie. The iris is in the heart. Unfortunately, we're going to have to pick up the pace. Mostly because my brain is fried from doing this for almost 2.5 hours now. Number 30, and we're only on number 30. Number 30 is a Chanel, and it's Coromandel. So this is earthy, woody patchouli. This is the Eau de Parfum. I really like it, but I think I would like the vintage Eau de Toilette even better. If I ever find a bottle, maybe I'll sell this and go for the Eau de Toilette. But it's neroli, orris root, jasmine, patchouli, rose, and it's got that white chocolate patchouli dry down with the vanilla. Apparently, there's a bit of Borneo 1834 in here from Serge Lutens. So yes, I like Coromandel Eau de Parfum. I really want to try the Eau de Toilette. Number 29 is back to Amouage, and it is Reflection Man. Reflection Man. Okay, so Reflection Man is this floral. There's a little bit of sweetness in here. It's got this bitter orange leaf, neroli, iris, jasmine, and ylang in the heart, and then this woody base with vetiver. It reminds me a little bit of, there's a white La Malle called, Fleur du Mal. I believe it's called Fleur du Mal. And it reminds me a little bit of Fleur du Mal, but I love the way that Reflection Man is done even better. I think it's more elegant. The iris in the heart is absolutely stunning. Number 28 is back to a Creed, and this is Green Irish Tweed. Probably many would consider this Pierre Bourdon's masterpiece. The iris in this is even more amped up than Koros, and that's why it's a little bit higher on the list. But they're both, I think masterpiece fragrances. Green Irish Tweed is green and fresh. It's got that lemon vervain with violet and that Florentine iris with that old school Creed ambergris that they used to make back in the day. This is the older 120 ml bottles. If you can find these, go for it. This is a 2014 batch. just amazing. You know, it's sad what Creed has become, but I do love their old work. Okay, next on the list we have number 27, and it's a Patou. It's a Jean Patou perfume, and this is called Sublime. So this is very underrated, and this is not a very old bottle. It's discontinued now, but this is such a great floral chypre. You know, it's got carnation, lily, lily of the valley, orris root, jasmine, ylang ylang, rose. There's just so much going on, and it smells so high quality compared to the price. You know, if you can find this for 30 or 40 bucks, go for it. I'm telling you, go for it. Even in its modern form, it's very, very good. Okay, next on the list, we've got number 26, and this is a creation from L'Artisan Parfumeur, and it's Zonka. So this is right around the same time Bertrand Duchefort was playing with that vetiver that I was mentioning, and I mentioned peony to you earlier, right? So here in Zonka, what he's done is he's taken that peony note and he's mixed it with the vetiver and iris, leather, and added this smoky papyrus. And the smoky papyrus is really what I think makes this perfume. It's so different. And there's lychee. I forgot. Lychee blossom. It's such a unique fragrance. You know, Bertrand Duchefort, I think, is a genius. And Zonka is absolutely amazing. Number 26. Number 25 is women's amouage, and it's Epic Woman. It is so good. I think it's Cecile Zarokian's best work. Epic Woman is one of my favorite combinations of tea meets frankincense, rose, geranium, jasmine, iris in the base with oud. It's just absolutely stunning. Epic Woman comes in at number 25. Number 24 is another amouage, back-to-back amouages, and it's Mitz Man. So Mitz is, you know, sometimes iris actually gives me this purple color, you know, when you smell it. And Mitz gives me that as well. It starts out very creamy. It almost feels like you're smelling Interlude Man, but it's chrysanthemum and iris, which is very unique, you know, with rum. So there's a little bit of a booziness to it. And instead of frankincense, here it's elemi resin. So it's elemi with leather and labdanum. And the dry down smells of ash, not frankincense, not smoke, but literal ash, like volcanic ash. It's a very unique fragrance. I love Mitz Man. Number 23 is probably, to some, one of the best iris fragrance, and it's up there for me as well, but it's not all the way to the top yet. It is Valentino Uomo Intense. Now, this is the 2016 version, which is discontinued. The new one has this spike collar, and I think it is different. I don't think it's the same. I think it is different. Valentino Uomo Intense is basically a Sophie Lab creation. It's iris with tonka and leather in a nutshell. It is sweet, but I like this kind of iris. Like I said, I can wear this. This doesn't bother me at all. That's why it's so high. I really like this this style. Okay, next on the list is number 22. We're back to amouage, and we're going with, this time, it is Imitation Man. So this is so unique. It's supposed to be like, you know, Christopher Chong's childhood in the 1970s in New York City. There is this vinyl feel to it, this vinyl record feel, but it's citron fruit with nutmeg, black pepper, Turkish rose, iris, violet, castoreum myrrh, leather. So that rose, castoreum myrrh, leather, iris combination, you know, with rose comes again in a fragrance we're going to talk about here very soon. I think that this is a DNA that maybe inspired the perfumer who made the next one we're going to talk about, because I instantly said when I smelled this other fragrance that this is what it reminded me of, but we'll get to that later on. It's even higher rated than Imitation Man on my Iris list. The quality of the ingredients is just out of this world. Okay, next on the list, we've got a Givenchy, and it's Givenchy 3. All right, so Givenchy 3, for me, is a chypre in the same vein as something like YSL Y. All right, amazing high quality chypre. Everything smells high class. You can, if you smell this, you'll see why people love vintage fragrances. It's so, it's not even close. I mean, it's not even like it's a race. It's not even, the final score wasn't even close. I mean, these vintage fragrances like this just absolutely annihilate the stuff that's getting put out today. The quality of the ingredients, the attention to detail, the way they made stuff back in the day. This is a Raymond Chailan, who is just a legend. And the irises in the heart, just imagine one of the most beautiful animalic floral chypres with iris in the heart. And you'll get an idea of Givenchy 3. And then number 20, we've got a Roja, and it is Great Britain. So I've talked about Great Britain a lot lately because I wore it just last week. I wore it when I had to go to Houston. It's one of my favorite iris leather combinations. It's a Russian leather fragrance, so it has that birch, styrax, and Brett with iris and leather. Iris in the base again in classic Roja, style. But it really is nice. Now they cut the price on this. It used to be like $1,750. And now it's like $1,000 or something. They put it to 750 pounds. They cut the price in half. But Great Britain's amazing. If you can find a good deal for it, and you got the cash to burn, go for it. Okay, next on the list, we've got the fragrance I referenced earlier, which is L'Adulée Exquise by the House of Les Abstraits. I think there's a lot to compare here. They both have this dirty orris. The castoreum is amped up here, which I like even more. But the iris, even when you compare the quality of the ingredients, the iris seems so high class in L'Adulée Exquise. And it does in the Amouage as well. But even the bits and pieces of the fragrance that are not, let's say, the focal point. So it's a rose patchouli. It's a rose and patchouli fragrance. Many people compare it to Portrait of a Lady. For me, because of the resins and the way that the castoreum is used with that rose patchouli, it reminds me more of Imitation Man personally. And that's what I said as soon as I did the video. I have a video on my channel about L'Adulée Exquise, and that's the very first thing that I said it reminded me of. So yes, L'Adulée Exquise number 19. Number 18, back to Roja. And this is actually, this is his most expensive fragrance, and it's called Roja's Haute Luxe, or just Roja, I think is actually what it's called. But this has really grown on me more and more and more. Every time I wear it, it grows on me more. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. At first I thought it was a labdanum balm, the Chypre labdanum balm. But it's a shapeshifter is the problem with it. There's a beautiful, I think the iris in Roja's Haute Luxe is actually even better than Great Britain. I've come to kind of accept that. And, you get this irisy, civet and styrax and a beautiful floral heart, big ylang in Roja's Haute Luxe. Okay, next on the list we've got number 17, and it is an Amouage, and I don't know how I'm going to get to it even. I didn't think this one through. Is this it? Ah, it is it. Okay, I got lucky. So this is This is Opus 5. So Opus 5 Wood Symphony is now what they're calling it. Comes in at number 17. And it actually is a wood symphony in a way. It's actually, I don't like the naming of those opuses after the fact, what they're doing now. But what it basically is iris, orris, and woods with a little bit of oud, just a touch, and a touch of civet to keep it interesting. But it's very wearable. A little bit of rum, mostly just iris and woods. Beautiful fragrance, though. I came to the party late with Opus 5, but it's very, very good. Okay, number 16. Oh, how am I going to find this? Where it could be any of these. Let's see. Ah, and it was the first one I grabbed. How about that? This is Jicky. And I mentioned volutes earlier in the video, or the previous video now, since it's going to be 2 videos. And so Jicky is the fragrance that I think volutes took some serious notes from. It's basically this resinous tobacco with hay and iris that makes it very powdery, beautiful fragrance, so wearable. And there's just something so comforting about this. It just reminds me, you know, it just feels like it's fall. You know, it's fall, you're having a great time, you're out in the hay, maybe you're in a maze or something with your kids. It's that kind of feel. I love Jicky. It's absolutely beautiful. Comes in at number 16. Number 15 is the very aptly named Amouage Interlude Black Iris. Okay, so what they did, they took that interlude DNA, they removed the oregano, which some people thought was weird. They added rosemary, which makes it more traditionally masculine, okay? And then they added lots of iris. And the iris kind of, or orris absolute, as they say. So the orris absolute kind of tampers everything down, makes it a more wearable version of interlude. And I'm very glad to have this. I held out at the very beginning because I didn't think Amouage should do flankers, you know? Like, it seemed weird to me that Amouage was doing a flanker, but I ended up coming around. That's one I came around on. Okay, number 14. Number 14 is one of my favorite feminine fragrances of all time, Teatro alla Scala. This stuff is a masterpiece. I've got multiple videos on the channel about this. It's I think one of the greatest chypres of all time. You know, the way that they use that honey accord with the civet and the iris is literally a, well, orris root or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's literally a class in how to make a animalic oriental chypre perfume. Again, if you like Chanel's Coco, if you like Ungaro's Diva, you will like Teatro alla Scala. I think it's the best of the bunch. Okay, next on the list we have number 13, and it's a Dior. It's our first Dior Homme series, and it is Dior Homme Intense. So I know this is number 1 for some people. For me, it's coming in at number 13. It's the makeup-y iris. They used to call this metrosexual back in the day, that Dior Homme Intense was a metrosexual fragrance. You know, I don't see things that way. It's got that Florentine Iris Absolute with Ecuadorian Ambrette Seed and Virginia Cedar. Seems like a very simple fragrance. It's not. It's very complex, very posh. The makeup-y iris is, I think, it's, to me, I could wear this with a tuxedo and I could smell just as good or maybe even better than picking out some of these, you know, high-class fragrances. There's just something about Dior Homme in any of its iterations. The Parfum I'm going to show here soon, the original. But the Intense for me comes third in the list of Dior Homme fragrances at number 13. Number 12, any version of Rochas Femme. I'm just going to grab this one because it's closest to me, but this is the Pure Parfum, Rochas Femme Pure Parfum. The Parfum de Toilette, which I have, I like just as much. Rochas Femme is a creation by Edmund Rudnitska. Brilliant, one of the greatest perfumers of all time. And this has this, you know, floral, animalic plum, peach, apricot opening. It's one of the greatest Chypres of all time. It's in the Chypre Hall of Fame with Mitsuko for me, and Chypre Palatine and all that good stuff. And it's iris in the heart. It's just, I mean, you know, don't let the name Femme put you off. Anyone can wear this. I love Rochas Femme. Okay, number 11 is Dior. Again, we're back to Dior. This time it's Dior Homme Parfum. This is the Parfum, this is the older 75 ml bottle, which has taken people by storm all of a sudden. I don't know how it became a bro fragrance, but it did. The Parfum adds this oud. So basically what it does is it keeps the Florentine iris, the Ecuadorian, ambrette, and it adds this leather, oud, and Ceylonese sandalwood. And whenever you smell it, in the beginning, it almost has like this boozy cola vibe for a little bit, and then it kind of goes deeper into that leather. I love Dior Homme Parfum. I love all of the Dior Hommes, even the Intense that just lost out to the Parfum by a couple spots. I love them all. But, oh man, I mean, it's so classy, and it is a beast mode fragrance. You want to get noticed? You wear Dior Homme Parfum. Okay, number 10 is a Chanel, and we're back to Chanel, and this time we're at Chanel number 19. This is the Eau de Toilette. It's my favorite version of number 19. The reason that number 19 beat out Dior Homme Parfum by just a little bit is just how elegant it smells. It smells like one of the most elegant green fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. Galbanum, hyacinth, iris, leather, just, I don't think you can get more elegant in the spring than number 19 for me. And speaking of elegant, though, maybe one that will actually beat out Chanel's number 19 for me. And this is a new discovery, but I am head over heels in love with this. If money was no issue, I would just wear this every day in the spring. Val de Nuit Extrait, the Pure Parfum. It's completely different than the Eau de Toilette, and I fell in love with this. I wore it just the other day for the first time. Galbanum, aldehydes, iris, oak moss, narcissus with that Guerlain vanilla. It's just, it's so good. It's shockingly different from the Eau de Toilette. Okay, number 8 is the great, hard to find, Lanvin Arpege. Arpege, this is the Extrait. Maybe my favorite aldehydic floral at the moment. Maybe my favorite aldehydic floral. This is, oh my God, man. I mean, when people talk about the good old days, and it's hard for, I think, someone who's never smelled some of these vintages to really understand, but the quality of the materials here in this vintage Arpege pour homme, or vintage Arpege, sorry, just the regular Arpege, the Extrait, is just as good, if not better, than all of these flashy niche brands you see, these Xerjoffs and all of this stuff. This is a floral, powdery bomb of a fragrance. The iris smells like some of the highest quality iris I've ever smelled, right? Number 8, Arpege. Number 7, Shalimar. We're going to the classics now. Number 7, Shalimar. The Pure Parfum actually has even more of a higher quality iris feel, but here you'll get the iris along with that expensive smelling bergamot in the top with that dirty vanilla in the base. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Number 6. Number 6 is a Frederic Malle again, and this is a vintage bottle of L'Eau d'Hiver. And L'Eau d'Hiver is Jean-Claude Elena's take on Après L'Onde, which I talked about earlier, but this has really grown on me. The beauty of L'Eau d'Hiver really shows, especially in these older bottles, heliotrope with hawthorn, iris, honey, and angelica. And Jean-Claude Elena uses that hawthorn note to perfection again in Cuir d'Ange. If you like L'Eau d'Hiver, check out Cuir d'Ange because he uses that hawthorn note again. It's absolutely stunning. Okay, before my brain turns off because we've been at it for so long, top 5. Number 5 is... please tell me it's here. Okay, number 5 is Le Bleu. Le Bleu is a semi-oriental, flowery, heliotrope, vanilla iris fragrance. I think it's a heliotrope first fragrance, but I can't help but see that purple iris, you know, just right there when I wear this. The blue, you know, the blue hour. The iris is such an important part to this, along with the violet. Le Bleu is a feeling, it's an emotion. You know, Jacques Guerlain said he felt something so strong he could only put it in a perfume. That sums up, I mean, my love of fragrance right there. Number 4. Number 4 is Dior Homme, the original Dior Homme, okay, with silver stem. And Dior Homme with silver stem is my favorite Dior Homme. God. You know, the cacao, the iris, the ambrette. It feels like Olivier Polge is painting with a much thinner brush, like it's much more detail-oriented, right? Demachy did big, broad strokes. There's also this brilliant execution of that vegetal sage I've talked about in other fragrances with cardamom. And there is leather. It's not, you know, people think only the parfum has leather. There's leather in original Dior Homme as well. Just a beautiful creation. Okay, number 3. I mentioned this fragrance earlier a little bit. I'm going to come back to it. I think this is one of the best iris fragrances of all time. 31 Rue Cambon. I'm in love with this, like literally in love. It's spring in a bottle for me. I mean, Chanel does this type of perfume better than anyone I mean, you know, this is, for what they're trying to accomplish, they just hit the nail on the head. They knock the ball square out of the park, whatever euphemism you want to use. Oh man, it's this green peppery iris with what's amazing is it dries down to this patchouli and cistus labdanum, but it never, you know, it stays so elegant, classy, fresh, whatever words you want to use. I mean, I love 31 Rue Cambon, even in its eau de parfum version. So thanks to Bry for finding me this bottle. And then top 2. Number 2 is Hermes Heris. Okay? Can't go wrong with Heris. I'm telling you, it's one of the best iris soliflores money can buy, if you want to call it that. There's other things going on. Coriander, amber, neroli, rose, honey, almond tree, vanilla, and cedar. But it's iris, iris, iris. I mean, you know, it imitates all of the features, and I've smelled the pure orris at 80% irones, or whatever you want to, you know, 80% irones is not an exaggeration. That's what Russian Adam says the orris he sent me is at. And this is one of the closest things to imitate it. However, there is one that I think is the best iris fragrance in the world from what I've smelled. This is thanks to Rachel. A bottle of this will run you $1,000. So I don't have a bottle. I said I was only going to include bottles, but this is the exception to the rule. This is L'Iris de Fat Parfum. So this is Jacques Fat, L'Iris de Fat Parfum. This is only a little 4 mil, sorry. This is a 4 mil. I think 30 mils of this runs you over $1,000. It is one of the most expensive iris fragrances money can buy. It's floral, it's powdery, it's got the orris butter and the orris absolute. They've mixed it with violet leaf, violet, Turkish rose absolute, carnation. I'll do a full review on this one day. with oak moss and vetiver, sandalwood. Oh man, it is just perfection. I mean, for an iris fragrance, it is just perfection. I don't think you can improve on this. So that's my top 100, which turned into a lot more. I'm sorry I had to break it up into 2 videos. You know, it's going to be a nightmare uploading, putting all this stuff away. But we did it. We're done with the Iris Top 100 and rank, damn it. So I hope this is a reference Iris video for years to come. Thanks to everyone who watched. You know, put me on 2x speed if the videos are too long. Appreciate everyone's time. And do like and comment and all the stuff that, you know, helps the algorithms. We want to draw more people to our little fragrance family, to our little fragrance town. And hope to talk to everybody soon. Hope to see your faces in the comments. Again, sorry for splitting it up into 2 videos, but thanks everyone for the support. Cheers, guys. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.